Hey man, say man, you already know what it is. The big boss. Y'all know the rest. Hog. Boss dog K-Po through the door. Hit the talk this boxing. Fucking my soliloquy. Until times don't last, cause people do to knock yourself. Caught him in the violin, made me mad at peak game. Peak game made it folks on one swing. Y'all know what this is. We clutched up. We clutched out. You know they're talking about that boxing. But before I get into the main entree, the main dish, gotta introduce our second host. Salute to all our soldiers. Future Hall of Famer. Future pro coach. Brody on the hustle, aka Coach B. Let them know how you doing, man.
Hey, what it is, folks? Y'all know what it is. K-Po just hit y'all over the head with it. Pause, no freakies in full effect. We clutched up. We clutched out. Y'all know we're here to talk about. Y'all know what I'm finna tell y'all next. Hey, God, wake y'all up. He put breath in y'all body. Everything else is extra. Get up, do you, take care of the family. With all that being said, I'm gonna pass it back to K-Po. Go ahead and continue the show. Let's let them know how we flow. And before we continue, just know my man K-Po still doing it. He under the weather. He's still pushing through. We still gonna deliver a great podcast for y'all. But go ahead, K-Po.
Let's move
Floor is
on to
yours.
the next topic. Debo Haney. Debo Haney, man. Let's just say, me and Coach picked Brian Norman, but we was wrong. We ain't gonna make no excuses. Um, Devin Haney steps up to the plate and beats Brian Norman. He's the new WBO champion, 147 pounds. Coach, what did you see in that fight? And where does Devin Haney go from here? Let me know something.
Let's just cut to the chase. I'm gonna start from the knockdown, coming from Devin Haney delivered to Brian Norman. In that aspect of the fight, and at that point in the fight, looking back in the last year or so, looking at Devin Haney from the Ryan Garcia debacle up until his next fight, up until the Brian Norman fight. I'm not taking any credit from Devin Haney, but at the same time, that punch that caught Brian Norman Jr. and put him down for the knockdown was the element. He got caught by the element of surprise, because no fighter in their right mind would be thinking Devin Haney is going to post up in the middle of the ring and swing for the fences at that stage of the fight. Brian Norman didn't think it. Turkey Al Sheik didn't think it. Hell, I don't even think Bill Haney was thinking it. Hell, the way he threw the punch, Devin Haney wasn't even thinking it. He said, you know what? I'm finna let one go right now. And Brian Norman Jr. walked right into it. He was sitting there. And it wasn't so much of the power of Haney. It's always the punch you don't see and the one you don't expect. And that's the punch that Brian Norman Jr. got caught with. And that ended up being the main deciding factor in that entire fight from that point on. And shout out to Devin Haney, because he shocked me. Because as soon as I seen it, I got it in my text message receipt. I just sent whoa to my boy K-Po. I said straight up whoa, because I seen it, but then I had glanced at something else and I heard it. And I just said, somebody down. And I looked back and it was Brian Norman Jr. going down. I'm like, oh, whoa. But again, shout out to Devin Haney for bringing his kahunas. Shout out to Devin Haney for not listening to the naysayers, because even me, I was like, I don't know. I said Devin Haney had a chance, but he would have to be him of old and some. And he was exactly that. I still pick Brian Norman Jr., but at the same time, I gotta give a shout out to Devin Haney for defying all the odds, going in there and doing the unexpected. He took out probably the most heaviest puncher at 147 right now. And like I say, I just want to see him continue it, continue doing what you do. I still got some. I still see some flaws. Brian Norman Jr. wasn't able to, capitalize on, and it just made me upset that again another fighter like Brian Norman Jr., who has a background of boxing in his skill set, does not utilize that skill set. He got caught lunging. He got caught being flat footed. He got caught throwing one punch combinations. He got caught throwing punches from the waist. Like I don't understand why fighters like Brian Norman Jr., who have power, want to throw punches and drop their hands below their waist to throw. You don't need to drop your hands to your waist to throw up top to the head. What are you doing? That's just all fundamentals. That just lets me know that some of these coaches are not going back to the fundamentals after they're done with their day's work. At the end of the day's work, I don't care if you're a professional or amateur, you need to go spend another 3 to 4, maybe 5 extra rounds working on nothing but fundamentals. Making sure your hands are returning to your face where they're supposed to, making sure you're using your jab repetitiously, making sure you're using your footwork, making sure you're moving your head off the line, making sure you're stepping to where you're supposed to be stepping. You need to practice this before you train and after you train. So it's a muscle memory type thing. It's second nature. Not, oh man, I got to think about how I got to get back to my fundamentals. And you can see after the knockdown, Brian Norman Jr. was trying to get to a point to where he wanted to box and he could box, but you can tell that's just not something they work on repetitiously within camp when they're preparing to fight for whoever they're fighting for. Like I say, this should be second nature stuff. When you get knocked down, you should automatically be able to go into, I'm going back to my fundamentals until I get my cobwebs right, until I shake off whatever the fog, the brain fog, whatever's going on. You should be able to resort back to fundamental second nature. And Brian Norman Jr. wasn't able to do that. And there was also other points in the fight where after Devin Haney realized that, hey, I'm not able to knock him out. I got the knockdown, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to knock him out. You can even see where Haney kind of was like, how do I get back into my fundamental aspect and just finish the fight with boxing? He got back to it, but at the same time, it was spurts of the fight after the knockdown where Haney really almost went into, I'm gonna just throw 1 or 2 punches and move the whole round. And then once Brian Norman got in the groove, you can see where Haney snapped out of it. He said, you know what, I'm gonna throw one of these bombs again because, hey, this dude about to get back in it. And he threw one and he landed another one. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to fight like that. You should always know how to be in and out of your fundamental elements when you're in these tough matches like this. But at the same time, shout out to Devin Haney. And I dare say shout out to Bill Haney because you can actually see adjustments throughout the fight within their fight plan. They were making adjustments on the fly. So again, good way to come back and reinvent the wheel for Bill Haney and Devin Haney. I look for them to continue this now. Don't have this type of fight and then get into another fight, another altercation where you can't deliver and you don't know what you're doing and you're making it a struggling match. So again, good job, Devin Haney. Brian Norman Jr., you and your dad got to go back to the gym. Y'all got to get them fundamentals back down, figure out how to box because the power ain't going nowhere and all the other stuff that you already possess ain't going nowhere. You just got to understand that you're a guy that can be put down at any moment and you need to be able to get in your element of your fundamentals at any time.
I think, like you said, we're gonna start with the knockdown. Once he got knocked down, you saw the confidence leave Brian Norman. As a coach, I feel like his dad failed him in the aspect of bringing him back down to reality. Hey, look, you got knocked down. Cool. Put that behind you. We still got 10 more rounds to go. Let's brick by brick get back in this fight. Get back on your jab. Okay. And that ties into what coach is talking about, the fundamentals. Get back on your jab, get your head offline, and we'll pick it up as the rounds go on. You can still win this fight. You can still get back in this fight. I just think they all were shell shocked from Brian Norman Sr. all the way to Brian Norman Jr. They did not expect that. And you can't underestimate anybody in that boxing ring. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you think a dude pillow fisted. I don't care if it's a woman in there. You cannot underestimate anybody in that ring. One punch. I mean, I'll give a prime example. I remember McGill got knocked out by a dude who had 4 knockouts. 4. The dude knocked Hamid McGee out. Hamid McGee was the 5th knockout. So all I'm saying at the end of the day is, and that dude got 20 something fights. He had 20 something fights with 4 knockouts. You can't underestimate anybody in that ring. Just because Devin Haney fought scared, I genuinely think that they thought Devin Haney was scared. Devin Haney back was on the wall. He had to win this fight. He had to. So he's willing to do anything to win this fight. And that's stand in a pocket with you. So I think that, you know, what Brian Norman Sr. should have told Brian Norman Jr. You got knocked down. Cool. Let's come out methodically and let's brick by brick, second by second, minute by minute. Let's get back in this fight. because you have to tap into the intellect of the fighter's mindset, right? Boxing is more mental than physical, and I just think mentally, Brian Norman Jr. was defeated. He was shocked. He was embarrassed, right? Man, it's a fight, and that's what I would have told. Hey, it happens. Let's go. You a champion for a reason. Let's go. Andre Ward got knocked down by Kovalev. Came back, won the fight. It don't mean that Floyd got hurt against Sugar Shane Mosley, visibly hurt. If he didn't hold on to Shane Mosley, he would have got knocked down. Came back, dominated the fight. It's all in the mindset. So I think the Normans got to stop being so emotionally invested in fights because I think it was just more emotion and really get into the intellect of boxing. I feel like they tried to make this more personal than what it was. And, due to the trash talk and all that, it got personal. I think that, senior wanted it more than junior. When you coaching your fighter, you got to tap into that mindset. I mean, coach, what you think about that? I mean, you actually been in the corner. When you got your fighter, he get knocked down. You know, what are you saying to him? Like, how are you gonna get him back motivated to get back in this fight?
First things first, I make sure they're able to continue. Number one, make sure all the physicals are still there. You still responding to what I'm saying. You still can look me eye to eye. You still can, breathe properly. You still can, or bite down on your mouthpiece. I look for all the physicals first, and after I see all the physicals are intact, I simply just tell them, hey, look, it's part of the sport. Sometimes you're gonna get the knockdown. Sometimes you're gonna get the knockdown. Sometimes you're gonna get knocked down. Sometimes they're gonna get the 10 count. Sometimes you're gonna get the 10 count. It's all in your mindset. Once you realize, hey, you still on your 10, you still able to hold your hands up, you still able to throw punches, you still able to move your head. Let's go. Calm down, reel it in, forget about it. You got the 10 count, you got the knockdown, or you were knocked down and you did receive the 10 count. Hey, it's all in the past. Remember, this is one round by round. Like you said, it's built brick by brick. It's not, you know, cast the whole house in one point of the fight. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But most of the time, in these situations, when you get up and you are able to realize, like, hey, I'm still going. Yeah, I got knocked down. Yeah, the ref gave me a 10 count, but at the same time, I'm still here. After that, you got to lock in. You got to tap in. Me as a coach, like I said before, I'm simply telling them, hey, let's put the training wheels back on a little bit. Let's work with distance, utilize the jab, make sure we're stepping properly, make sure we're working our angles properly, make sure make sure we're moving properly in and out of range, make sure we're resorting to what's supposed to be working. If we got to counter punch this round, let's counter punch this round. If we got to be the main aggressor in this round, and you're able to be the main aggressor in this round, then let's do that. If we got to work off the back foot, let's work off the back foot. Let's put the training wheels back on a little bit, and then as we go, like you said, throughout the rounds, we'll pull the training wheels back off, and we'll jump back in the fight. There's no need to panic. There's no need to panic, especially if you're able to get up. Understand, you conquered the biggest part, the toughest part of the situation, getting back up. Next, let's get out there. If there's more time left in the round, get out there, move around. Don't try to re-engage in the situation and try to, answer blow for blow and lick for lick, power for power. Don't respond in that manner because not everybody's able to do that. Some fighters can, most fighters can't. You're a special type of fighter if you can do that. You get knocked down, you get up and you go balls to the wall and you can fight through it, then cool. You're a special type of individual. But most fighters can't. And I think that's where a lot of fighters get themselves in trouble. They try to respond fire with fire. Sometimes you got to respond. You got to put the wind against the fire. You got to put the water against the fire. You got to put it out. You got to find a way to put it out. So you got to use a different type of element. So with that being said, hey, don't go right back into it. Once the guy gets in range and he wants to throw heavy, hey, make it dirty. Wrap him up. Hold on to him. Once you're in the corner, hold on to him, lock your arm around the ropes. I mean, it's dark arts in the sport of boxing, but there's ways to gain your focus back. There's ways to get yourself back situated. There's ways to get your physicals back intact. But to sit there like Brian Norman Jr. did, he wanted to get right back to it. Like, no, bro, you just got knocked down. You can't go back in there and try to fight like that. And Devin Haney was with it. At that point, he was like, oh, I knocked you down. I'm with it now. It ain't nothing you can do. I did what you was supposed to do to me. So at that point, you got to kind of play, cat and mouse with it. But at the same time, as a coach, like I said, I make sure all the physicals are intact first. And then after that, I calm them down. I tell them, breathe. Hey, listen, let's put the training wheels back on. Let's get back to your jab. Let's work the high guard. And once you get that going and you feel comfortable, you ready to come out of that, then we'll start throwing the 1-2s and start throwing the 1-2-3 simple combinations. We'll start taking the training wheels back off and we'll get back in the fight.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Haney though. Great win for Devin Haney. Back against the wall, and he back at the top of the what can you do?